Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Jack. Jack is from London, so let's see what Jack has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello Jack, I'm very well. How are you today?
I'm super well, super well.
Very good. Thanks so much for taking your time to join me in this beautiful journey called William and the Magic Box.
Pleasure. I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
Very good. Okay, Jack, just before we start the game, just tell me where are you from?
I'm from London.
Oh, where's about in London do you live?
So I live in southwest Brixton.
Oh my God, I just live in Stratton Hill. We are just
we're very close. Probably, we're neighbours.
Yes, absolutely. And tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I work as a confidence and communications coach. So I help people show up more confidently online in order to be able to make an impact or sales or to be the face of their brand. That's what I've done for the last 2-3 years. Before that, I was in the modeling industry, swanning myself around the world, doing all sorts of shoots and other bits and bobs. And that's me in a nutshell.
And what do you like? What's the most interesting thing about your job right now, in your opinion?
The most interesting thing about my job right now is that I get to help people from all over the world, from the comfort of my home, and I get to share insights on things that I have learned over the last 12 years that you can't read in a book. It's just from experience, you know. It's the sort of thing where you can borrow knowledge by reading a book, but you can't borrow experience. So that's what I help people with on a day-to-day basis.
Nice, amazing. And before we start the game, I would like you to tell me a little bit about this event coming out now, this 100 kilometers. You're gonna run for one day in London. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah. So basically on Saturday, I am running 100 kilometers to raise awareness for mental health as a result of the pandemic. So lots of people in my industry, models and actors, dancers, people like that have lost their jobs, lost their identity because of the fact that COVID's kind of just taken their jobs and made them redundant. So there's a lot of people that are struggling. And I have gone through my various ups and downs throughout this time, and so I like sport, I like running, and I thought, why don't I just do a big event and raise some money for charity? And I'm doing the whole thing while doing it live on Clubhouse, which is going to be a kind of added extra hard part about it, but it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a long day. I'm going to try and do it in 12 hours, and so it's going to be a fun one, and I'm looking forward to kind of getting out there and running some miles.
It's amazing. And it's going to be around London, different parts of London. How it's going to be? Yeah,
so I'm probably going to do either sort of 10 laps of a 10k route or maybe 5 laps of a 20k route. Just depends on the day and the weather and how I feel and that sort of thing. But I'm going to base myself where I live in Brixton and just kind of run from different, run from there and be able to come back and fuel and charge my phone and all that sort of stuff from there.
Love it. That's amazing. Amazing. Okay, Jack. So, welcome to William and the Magic Box. My best friends, full of random phone questions, okay? So I'm just gonna play some music just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question. Are you ready?
Hey,
let's do it. Hey Jack, ready for the first question?
Yes.
Let's do it. The first question is, if you could spend an entire day with a family member, who that would be and why?
I would spend an entire day with my dad because he unfortunately isn't with us anymore, and I lost him when I was quite young, and it's something that I would like to I'd like to spend the day with my dad because I've not had the time to spend with him since I was 7, so that'd be a good thing to do.
Do you have brother and sister as well?
I do have a younger sister, yes.
Cool. Ready for the second question?
Yes, let's go.
Let's do it. Right, Jack, before the next question, tell me a little bit, what do you miss the most about being a modeling, traveling around the world?
What do I miss most? I think I miss the freedom. I miss the fact that, you know, you can just kind of go wherever you want and that sort of thing. I miss the variety. I still do bits and bobs, you know, so it's not something I've given up completely, but it's, yeah, it was definitely a fun time that I do miss, and I think was, you know, a good part of my life.
Very good. Next question is, how do you describe a perfect friendship?
How do I describe a perfect friendship? I think a perfect friendship comes down to two things. First one is trust. I think you have to be able to trust the person that you know you're friends with, and you trust them with everything you say, you do, you know, whatever it might be. And the second thing is that you have to laugh. I think, you know, a good friendship means you've got to have fun laughing and being silly with each other and enjoying each other's company, even if it's just not doing anything. You know, it's just sitting on the sofa watching TV or going for a walk or whatever. But yeah, I think trust and having laughs are an important part of that.
Good, very good. I agree with you. Next question. Right, Jack from London. Next question is, what's your funniest memory of your time at school?
Fondest memory?
The funniest
memory. Funniest memory of time at school was probably the time that I got caught selling sweets out of my locker when I was about 13, and basically I used to hide it from the teachers around the corner because they couldn't see my locker. And then one day I got caught, and it wasn't funny at the time, but now looking back on it, it was quite funny because I had all these sweets and like Coke's cans and Snicker bars and everything in this locker. And the teacher caught me, and I had to sort of empty them all out to a bag, and they go to the headmaster's office, and I had to explain myself, and I had to tell them how much money I'd made, and like it was looking back on it, was actually hilarious because they commended me on my entrepreneurial spirit, but then told me that I couldn't do that because it was against school rules. So it was this kind of like paradox. It was quite funny.
Did you make a lot of money?
I mean, in hindsight, probably not. You know, it's 10p this and 20p that. But yeah, it was good to learn kind of the fundamentals of, you know, supply and demand and upselling and that sort of thing.
Amazing, I love it. Next question. Right, before the next question, so tell me, what's the most common needs or question that your clients come when they come after you to look for help or for assistance? What's the most frequent or current questions?
So most people come to me because they want to become the face of their brand, and they are unsure how to do that online. You know, a lot of people have gone from being in an environment with lots of colleagues and being able to go out to events and networking and that sort of thing, but now we're doing it virtually. And so I help people become more confident, more visible online in order to be able to reach a wider audience. So yeah, a lot of people come to me and say, how do I cut through the noise of social media? How do I show up every day? How do I create that resilience that, you know, in order to be able to do what I do every single day online?
I might come to you in the future.
Perfect. Yeah, come chat to me.
Next question is, what do you think is a good age to start dating, and why?
Good question. I think a good age to start dating is around 16, 17. Because two reasons. One, I think it gives you're sort of growing into adulthood, and I think that you need to learn how to create how to be around the other sex or other person, you know, and feeling those feelings. But I also think it's important to spread your wings in that way and understand kind of like what it would be like to, you know, date someone else that's not kind of, you know, in an environment where you go to the movies or go for dinner or that sort of thing. So yeah, I think about 16, 17.
I think dating is when you feel safe about yourself, then you can give this step, you know what I mean? I think the age is around this age as well, when you feel more kind of mature, a little bit more mature to go dates and everything. Next question. Right, Jack, next question for you is, good one. If you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
If I'm not myself, would I like to be myself?
If you're not, like, let's say that you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've got a great life. I've got great friends. I've got good prospects. I do in a sort of not kind of how do I put this? I don't love myself, but I do like the life I have, and I think it's a good place to be. So yeah, I think I do.
Very good. Another question for you. Hi Jack, before the next question, tell me a little bit about your podcast show.
Podcast. So I run a show called The Jack Revell Show, and it's all about talking to interesting humans about interesting things. So it started because for my job, I have lots of conversations, I network, I help people kind of put themselves out there basically. And what I wanted to do is bring really interesting people to the fold, and so that other people could hear what their story was all about and kind of understand who they were a bit better. And so yeah, it's been going for about 3 or 4 months now, and I've done about 26 episodes, and yeah, it's growing. It's exciting.
You do like once a week, twice a week? How does it work?
It comes out every Monday in the morning, and yeah, I kind of record a couple at a time, and then I'll launch them, and then a couple at a time, and then launch them. So yeah, but they're weekly, every Monday on most streaming platforms.
Very good. Next question is, what was the biggest punishment you ever received?
Biggest punishment? Oh God. Biggest punishment I've ever received. I got done for a very, very, very annoying running a red light in Dubai last year, and I got charged £2,300 for running a red light in Dubai. So anyone watching that wants to drive in Dubai, don't bother, just get an Uber, because it's just not worth it if you get any traffic infringement. So yeah, £2,300 I had to pay for running a little bit of a red light.
But do you realize that you run it a bit late?
At the time, no, because I thought that I'd gone through the yellow, but clearly the rules were that if you went through the yellow, it's classed as a red. So it was, yeah, a bit frustrating, but lesson learnt, and definitely a big payment that went out to them.
Absolutely. Next question. Right, Jack, next question for you is, tell us about your earliest memory in life.
Earliest memory in life. My earliest memory in life is going on holiday to Australia with my mum and my sister, to see my cousins who live there. We were walking through sort of like the bush near to where they live, and all I remember is that there'd been a bushfire, because everything was burnt and everything looked really kind of like black and charcoal. And I just remember it because it was such a weird feeling being in a forest that was kind of all burnt. And I must have been about 4, maybe 5. Yeah, that's probably my earliest memory that I can think of right now.
Wow, very good. Are you enjoying the show so far, Jack?
Absolutely, it's great fun.
Good. Another question. For the next question, what do you like the most about London, and what you don't like at all?
What I like most about London is there's just everything you need. There's nothing that you can't get in London, and if you want something, it can be there the same day. If you need to pop out and do something, there's something to do. What I don't like about London is the weather. Plain and simple, the weather is rubbish, and it could do with being a bit sunnier every day.
Cool. Next question is, what is the worst advice you ever given?
The worst advice I've ever given?
Yeah.
God, put me on the spot. The worst advice I've ever given? It's a good question. I think it's, I suppose it's not advice, but it was definitely something I shouldn't have done. But I told a friend that we were on a boys' holiday one year, and I told a friend of mine to go and talk to a girl, and told him that the girl had told me that he liked her, or she liked him, and vice versa. And so I kind of told him that you should go and talk to that girl, just for a bit of a joke. And it was quite funny at the time, but now I look back on it, it was quite rude and probably not very nice. And so yeah, it was probably the worst advice I've given someone, to go and talk to that girl just because I told you to.
So he went after her?
Yeah, he did, yeah, and then came back and said, I'm not sure why that was all about, but yeah, anyway, they that was that.
Good one. Next question. Okay, Jack. Next question is, describe yourself in a positive word and a negative word only.
Positive. I'd say positive. I'm always positive. Negative. Stubborn.
It can be a positive thing as well, being stubborn.
Can be, or maybe not so, or maybe stubborn. I'd say short fuse, so I get angry quite quickly if something doesn't go the way I think it should.
Oh, interesting. What's your star sign, just for curiosity?
Virgo.
Okay. Next question. Okay, Jack, in your opinion, what's the biggest cause of mental health nowadays?
I think there's a few. The thing that I think is the biggest cause is people not being aware of the fact that it's there. You know, it's a silent kind of disease or silent kind of, you know, condition that people don't know about because you can't see it. If someone's got a broken leg, you can see that. If someone's got, you know, if someone's blind, you can see that. But you can't see if someone's got mental health problems. And I think that that's really important to sort of really talk about that, because the only way you know is if that person who's either got them talks about them, or someone that knows they've got them talks about it. So I think that's, it's something that we need to be a bit more aware of and more focused on moving forward.
Very good. I agree. Okay, what is one food you could eat for the rest of your life?
Peanut butter.
Do you eat every day?
I do, yeah. I love peanut butter. All day long, on bananas, on bread, on most things. Yeah, it's good.
Good. Not my favorite, actually. I like it. Next one. Right. I was checking your website and I could see some testimonials from people that you assist with. If you could pick one testimonial, a special one, just want to share, which one would be?
Ooh. Okay, so there was a guy who I worked with called Kieran Harris, he's an old friend of mine, but he does very well for himself. He's very high up in a big corporate job, and he was so thankful after our session that I helped him understand what the most important things were in his life. So we talked about kind of like how he is spending his time and what he feels like he's missing. And we came to this conclusion that he is able to control his time more than he thinks. And that was a big, big insight for him, because he's then able to sort of take what time he does have and use it in the areas he thinks he wants to, rather than where he thinks he should be spending it. So yeah, I think that was, and the testimony I wrote was really nice. And yeah, it's definitely a good part of that. Good.
Right, next question is, what did you think was the most challenging part of being a kid?
The most challenging part about being a kid was probably, I don't know, maybe like fitting in. I think there's a big part of, as you're a kid, wanting to be, you know, the cool kid or the sporty kid or the clever kid or whatever. And I think that trying to fit in and trying to keep up with everyone else is definitely a hard part of it. So, yeah, I think that's probably it.
I agree. There's so many kind of tribes, you know, different groups that people, you don't know which one you kind of want to fit in. Sometimes it's like, I'm not sure which one I'll fit in, that's for sure. Another question, Jack. Let's do it. Okay, tell me a funny story that happened to you when you were traveling, modeling around the world, if you remember.
One story of something that happened to me around the world. So, trying to think, gosh. Okay, so when I was in South Africa, I was filming over there for a couple of months. I did an advert for Peugeot, and what I had to do was, it was a scene where basically this guy was driving a car and he had all these buttons in the car that did certain things, and one of the buttons, when he pushed it, kind of was like a magic button and it did something to somebody else outside of the car. So there was a scene where I was standing in a pool, like in a like a nightclub that had a pool next to it, talking to these girls and kind of being all suave and stuff like that. And as he pressed the button, I basically launched like 3 feet in the air into the swimming pool. And it was really cool because they hooked me up to this rig on my stomach, on my chest, and then had like this rope that was kind of, you know, sort of see-through, so you couldn't see it on the camera. And then I had 3 guys basically just like yank me, and so literally went boom, straight off camera and into the swimming pool. And it was such a funny experience because I didn't know when it was coming. So I had this like, you know, talking, and then boom, gone. And it looked really cool on camera. And yeah, it's probably one of the funniest shoots I've done.
Very good. Okay, next question is, what's the best advice have you ever received?
Best advice I've ever received is probably trust the process. You know, we are so quick to sort of figure things out and work out what to do next and how to do it. And I think that sometimes you just need to trust that you know what you know and do it the way you know how. And if you don't, you will find the answer in some way, shape or form. So yeah, trust the process and don't get too stressed out around, you know, trying to find it all right now or getting the right answer straight away.
I agree. I think it just makes you feel calm when you think about it, isn't it? It's just not, sometimes I believe it's not just up to us. You need, everything needs to be at the same, work together at the same time. The universe or yourself, you need to, you know, it's not up to you just to do it. It just, you need to calm down and just let things flow together.
Yeah, exactly.
3 questions left. Okay.
Sure.
Let's do it. Okay, Jack, next question for you is, what's something not many people know about you?
What's something that not many people know about me? Not many people know. Not many people know that I was arrested once and spent 2 nights in jail.
Oops. Can you share why?
It was a very, very drunk night out, and I basically just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, which then led to me getting arrested, which then led to me being in there because I was so drunk for so long. And it was just a very, yeah, I was young and very silly at the time. But yeah, I spent 2 nights in a cell, which was not very fun, but also an experience in itself.
Lovely. Good. Thanks for sharing that.
Pleasure.
2 left. Let's do it. Okay, Jack, next question for you is, what 3 things you want to be remembered for?
I would like to be remembered for my generosity. I would like to be remembered for my bad jokes. And I would like to be remembered for always trying to do the best for everybody else, you know, always trying to be there for everyone and always trying to kind of do my best to help everyone in any possible way, that be for work or for family or for friends, you know, just to kind of be that guy that's like, I'm always there if you need me type of thing.
Good, very good. Ready for the last one?
Yes.
Let's do it. Okay, Jack, just before the last question, I would like to ask you, what motivates you to start your business, what you do right now? What's the reason, or you always wanted to do that? Tell me.
Yeah, so I started coaching because I had some coaching and I found that the benefits of it were just incredible. You know, like my life completely changed after I had some coaching. And so, yeah, I kind of decided I wanted to study it a bit more and learn a bit more about it. So when I qualified, I decided, you know what, I'm going to help people. And it was just at the time when pandemic hit. So I thought, you know, I'm going to start putting more of my effort into this and less into that. And so here we are today.
Very good. Very good. What's the soundtrack of your life and why?
What is the soundtrack of my life? I'd say One More Time by Daft Punk, because it's bouncy and fun, but also because it just shows that I just want to keep going and keep doing and, you know, doing more and experiencing as much as I can one more time, you know, to keep that experience alive. So yeah, it's a good question, that.
Wow, I just got goosebumps now. Do you know why? Because this song, when I left Brazil, I was 19 years old and I was living in Portugal at the time. I didn't know anyone over there, and I remember listening to this track. And like it was kind of my company. You know, it brings so much positivity, makes like a good vibe. Yeah. Oh my God, I just goosebumps now. Oh my God, I love the track a lot. Good one. Okay, so it's not the end yet, Jack. Let's play now the quick thinking game, okay? So I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one word relates to that, okay?
Cool.
Let's start with family.
Friends.
Love.
Connection.
Money.
Power.
Sex.
Fun.
Life.
Ooh. I'm stumped. Goals.
Politics.
Complicated.
Religion.
Complicated.
Fear.
In our heads.
Ooh, good one. Friendship.
Powerful.
Regrets.
Waste of time.
Desire.
Need.
Success.
Money.
Happiness.
Laughing.
Wish.
Dreams.
London.
Home.
And the last one now, coaching.
Powerful.
Very good, very good. Okay, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your partner for a cup of tea, and I'm going to ask your partner, tell me the most beautiful thing about Jack, and tell me something that he still needs to improve on. What do you think to tell me?
So, the most beautiful thing about Jack is that he is able to talk to anyone and able to create a conversation and make friends with anyone that he meets. He's very, very sociable and likes to be curious about other people and what they're doing. One thing he needs to work on is not talking as much as he does, and learning when to stop and let other people speak.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Right, let's play now, Jack, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question, okay? Okay, Jack, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, William, my question to you is, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever been given, and why?
Right. Oh my God, I'm quite lucky. I've received so many good advice through my life, but I'll tell you one that straight away came to my head when you said that. When I was, as I told you before, I left Brazil when I was 19 years old. I left on my own. I didn't know anyone over there. I just knew a lady who I was living with. And I remember my first job over there. And I was lucky enough. I was working in a restaurant, and everyone was working there. I was 19 at the time, but everyone was like 35, 36, and everyone was kind of married. They had a family. And I was quite lucky because they kind of adopted me. Everyone was kind of after me, look after me. And one day, I never forget that. It was Saturday. It was quite busy, but we haven't started working yet. I was waiting for the clients to start come. So we had dinner, everyone. And I remember it was kind of was quite cold, and I didn't know quite anyone. And I was literally standing by the window, like just waiting, looking around. And they were talking. My colleagues were talking with themselves, like just chilling before starting working. And one of these colleague, he came up to me. He was like, "Did you leave any girlfriend in Brazil?" I was like, "Oh, no." He said, "William, I think you did because I can see you. You're away. Your mind is away." I was like, "No, I'm just here, just thinking." And he said to me, "Look," I think he was quite clever. He said, "Look, Brazil is going to be there all the time if you need to go back one day. So give yourself time. Don't be sad, like." Thinking that it's just the start. You've been here like for a month or so. So give yourself opportunity. Don't think too much. Brazil, if it goes wrong, give a try. If it goes wrong here, you always can come back to your country. The country is not going to go away. It's going to be there all the time for you. So I think that's one of the biggest, I need to hear that actually, because when you are young, sometimes you have knowledge, but you need to listen to things. Even now, you need to listen to something sometimes to remember, just like I remember. And I've always been very adventurous in my life, but I think that piece of advice helped me to kind of, wake up and okay, you are here, let's do it, let's try. If it goes wrong, you always can come back to your home country. So, and here I am after 20 years. So yeah, that was one of the biggest advice I ever had in my life. That's for sure.
Amazing. Great story. Thanks for sharing.
That's okay. Thank you very much. Jack, did you have a good time?
I had a great time. Thank you so much for inviting me on. This has been really cool.
Thanks so much for taking your time. I know you're a very busy man. Thanks so much to take your time and to share this experience with me. And just before we go, if you can share a positive quote or positive message, something that inspires you.
Sure. So the quote that comes to mind that I'd like to share is that for every everything you do leads to something else that you didn't know you were capable of. So every action, every message, everything you read always leads to something new that you haven't yet discovered yet. So be curious, make that change, and commit to being the best version of yourself moving forward, and you'll never, ever, ever be in a position where you fail.
Amazing. I love that. Amazing, amazing. Jack, thanks so much. Can you keep in touch, okay? All the best for you. Thanks for the interview.
Speak to you soon. Cheers, William. Bye.
Take care. Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.